I met an HR representative professional who works for a very large HR software company earlier, actually late last week. And in that conversation at the social event, she was explaining to me, or she first asked me, what did I do? I kind of gave her an understanding of the whole dynamics of the two personality types that we're typically working with and how both are required to run a very big business. And she was very quick to let me know, hey, I feel like I do both of those things, but my upper management, not the same page. They're carrying the builder energy versus the operator energy. So today, I'm going to unpack a little bit of that conversation. This is Spencer Uncensored, episode 116, where we talk about the patterns that are running your business and how to actually do something about it. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you being here. I am doing this a little differently this time than the last probably 15 episodes we've done because this one's a little more unscripted per se. I'm literally going off the cuff. So if there's faux pas and strange trippings along the way, well, that's on me because now we're just literally going to riff based off of what I see. And it's really harkening back to the original Spencer Uncensored when we first kicked this thing off, probably a little over a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And I'm not new to this discussion, but I'm trusting that you are going to lean in on probably the biggest and overlooked, if you will, pattern that will help you figure out kind of where you're at and what I need to do to adjust. So anyway, taking it back to this conversation with this particular HR executive, she was expressing how, Spencer, you said there's builders and then there's operators. And I really feel like I'm doing both. I feel like I have the energy, the movement, the activity, the things that need to be done to really see it at a bigger picture. And I also have the operator piece to this where I understand the structure, I understand how to optimize, I know how to, build this thing and do it well. And yet I really struggle with upper management consistently putting things out there, telling us what needs to be done, and then praying that the staff has enough resources to pull it off or figure it out. So what that's telling me is that in her business or where she works, there's a lot of builder mentality of the top end where they're, hey, this is the directives, this is where we're looking to go, this is why we're going to go there, all of that, but there's not the supportive back end or the operator pieces necessary. And they're depending on those employees and or team members, if you will, to figure it out and not empowering them to do it. So today, I want to make sure that this is extremely understood because there's an infinite loop. It's a constant and ongoing loop that we are struggling with, if you will, that are not necessarily, we don't need to struggle with it. We just need to understand it. This is what gets people where they want to be. By the way, I apologize. I'm telling you, I'm weaning myself off of the scripting stuff with the AI. So if you don't like how this is going, I apologize. But I'm gonna get back on track with making sure that you guys are getting the raw deal. Y'all good with that? If so, let me know. Anyway, we wrote this book, Momentum and Mastery, roughly a year and a half ago, 2 years now, probably. And the reason it's called Momentum and Mastery, not momentum or mastery, momentum, mastery, mastery, momentum, none of that. It's momentum and mastery because for the last 2 decades or more, as I had conversations with business owners, it became evident that there were two major patterns that would show up. Some people would sit down with me and they were extremely good at creating the momentum. They're drivers by nature. They push. They understand the dreams. They understand the desires. They understand the disturbances. They understand making decisions. And so they're really good at building. And that's why we call the people that are good at the momentum side of the book, the drift to drive framework, all the pieces from the book. We talk about uh, that puts them in the builder camp. And so the challenge is that if you don't couple that to mastery, then you're going to end up just absolutely burning everybody out or frustrating the hell out of everybody else in your business. And if you're a solopreneur and you're going to constantly just drive all the time without necessarily putting mastery to it or systems, processes, optimization, all the pieces that we teach on the mastery side, it's going to be a recipe for frustration typically or um, burnout. So if you're hitting a glass ceiling on a regular basis, you're probably doing this from a builder's mentality. Now, conversely, someone who's on uh, the operator side, operators, if you're constantly optimizing for mastery and you're constantly looking to make things better, but you don't have any particular, you're not coupling that with the builder mentality or the momentum, you're not gonna have the emotional fuel to take you to the next level. You're gonna struggle with scaling. And what people need to understand is that both of them are required, and you're going to naturally do one or the other. You just got to learn the other one and then apply it to your business or get the right people in place to do those things properly. Builders are typically going to lean in on you're just going to think you're going to outbuild the problem, and operators think they're gonna out optimize the problem. They never get to the next level because they're trying to, and so they create a really elaborate cage. Operators do, where builders just build a create a problem for themselves because they just keep making a mess and never really develop anything that's sustainable. Right? They know it's obtainable, but it's never sustainable. So I want to give you some examples of where this has actually happened recently in the news. I mean, you guys heard of Spirit Airlines filing for bankruptcy once again and actually just shutting down. Spirit is a really good example of a broken loop in this regard, because Spirit was pure builder energy. They expanded aggressively. They moved through during the pandemic. They bought new planes, new routes. They were pushing really hard, and they were 33 years in as a business, pushing really hard, building without bringing mastery to the table. They build fast and then it collapses under its own weight. That should be a telling tale for any one of you that's just out here doing hustle mentality, crush it, drive, push, don't, but if you don't put the back into that, you're going to end up with a problem. Conversely, you have another company called iRobot. I mean, you guys remember those, right? Um, they are the ones that invented the robot vacuum cleaner, like early 2000s or something. And they were so optimized. They were constantly focused on making it better. However, while they're over there stuck doing that, there were Chinese competitors and others that came in, took ground, and pulled away what arguably was the best at doing what they do. Because other people came in and out. They moved faster. They innovated faster. They made things happen. They basically took all the market from underneath iRobot. And so iRobot also filed bankruptcy. Right? These are two completely different companies, two completely different modes, but they're the same broken loop: momentum and mastery. So organizations have patterns just like people do. If you're stuck in a loop where, and I've always drawn this out with momentum and mastery, I've always drawn it as like an infinite loop. Whatever level of drift you're in right now doesn't have to be vilified, by the way, because we're all looking for some level of comfort. We're always looking to get to the next level of comfort. Whatever level of lifestyle you have right now, personally, and even organizationally, you can consider that a drift. It's a habitual state of being. This is kind of where we are, and this is where we set ourselves up to be. This is our new comfort zone. I don't want you to think that the word drift per se is the problem. What I do want you to understand is that unintentional drift, drift where you don't necessarily, you just end up somewhere. You take your hands off the wheel and say, let it just, it'll take care of itself. That is a problem because cultural gravity is going to tell the builder, just keep building, and it's going to tell operators to keep operating, but not necessarily do the opposite. And that's also going to let you know that you need to stay comfortable. You're going to miss out on relationships. You're going to lose out on some things. You're going to miss out on. There's pieces that you need to protect where you are. That is just cultural gravity talking to you. If you want to get where you want to go, you need both momentum and mastery. Both are extremely useful. So if you don't want to be like Spirit or you don't want to end up like iRobot, you're going to need to make sure you look at your business and make some decisions around what's causing you not to get to the next level. You're either going to be frustrated, you're going to be impatient, you're going to be burning out, or you're just going to feel stagnant. One of those things is happening to you right now. Pick which one and then move forward from there because we have the framework to help you get out of it. So the bottom line is, the question is going to be, which one are you operating right now, builder or operator? And if you're going to tell me both, then I'm going to ask you, which one are you naturally leaning into so that we can then have the discussion about which of the two frameworks, the momentum, which is drift to drive, or do we need to be talking about the qualified champions framework? I know that's all new. If you're not familiar with any of this stuff, it's all right here, which, by the way, you can go to momentumandmastery.com and pick it up. There's a whole bundle there, actually. You can get it from momentumandmastery.com, or you can get it from Amazon if you prefer. What I'm suggesting for you to do today, if you don't want to even get the book yet, you can go to unshakablesecrets.com and take the 3 to 5 minute assessment. It literally doesn't take about a few minutes. If I spend 5 minutes with you, I can tell you exactly what's going on with your business and how to fix it. Sounds like a bold claim. I'm going to be on a podcast tomorrow with a Jaguar player or former Jaguars player. I'm going to tell everybody the same thing. Give me 5 minutes conversation, answer some questions with me. I can tell you what's going on in your business and I can tell you how to fix it. You can go to unshakablesecrets.com. It'll give you a pretty accurate picture of what's going on as long as you're honest with yourself. The storms and the problems in your life and business, they just reveal the situation. They don't create the broken loop, they just reveal it. This loop only works when both directions are moving. One without the other isn't a business strategy. It's a pattern with a logo. So I'm just checking out my notes over here to make sure I got everything I wanted to say. All right. For now, I would love it if you'd share this episode, let others know about it. Spencer Uncensored here on YouTube, by the way. If you want to look up Spencer Combs Resources, find me, follow us. We're going to be doing a lot more growth. We're going to be rolling out. I got a Unshakable weekend event lined up for later on in the fall. We're excited about that. I got the new book bundle that just came out over on momentumandmastery.com. I could put you all over the place to help you. The first thing you probably should do is go unshakablesecrets.com, check out your pattern, and then run it from there. We can help you. I appreciate you guys being here. Find a builder, find an operator, send them this video, help them understand they need to do both. They need to do both. Keep well, keep moving forward.